In the last episode, Lady Luck finally shone down that light upon us, and we picked up a worthy top 5 pick, having to win the lottery to secure the rights to that player, which thankfully we did. And now that sets the stage for this episode here today. Another season with the Red Wings. This is the team as it stands. Now, this could change if there are players available who make it worth tanking for, but this is what we're running with. Willie Cashman on the top line alongside DeAndre Carlton and Brennan Othman, who's now 25 years old. Second line is interesting, though. It's Brendan Hoffman with Justin Madsen, who, you know, he's not a perfect fit for the team. I was tempted to maybe put him on the top line alongside Cashman and Othman, but I also don't want to totally stunt Carlton's development. You could argue he's about as good as he's going to get. Issue being Carlton's a much better fit for the top line than he is for where he currently is. So Madsen, it's kind of a tough call. I went for team chemistry, obviously. Tony Shepard still up there on the second line, someone who's looking a little bit shaky in terms of his development at this point. Third line is Cardwell, Hayden Fowler, and Cameron Merritt, who's now 24 years old. Someone else who, again, started as a low overall, so he's a little bit shaky for that development pattern. And the fourth line is Reed Neal, Max Galad, and Harvey Brennan. So a new head coach might be in order to try and get more out of Madsen, Merritt, and Neal in the next season or two, although we do have a top-notch coaching staff. Defensively, it is Jamie Drysdale alongside Eddie McGrath still. Second pairing now, Edgar Sasaki and Matthew Bales. Third pairing of Jesse Anderson alongside Marcus Gretz. Couple of big boys on that third pairing. The goaltending, Howard Lowe and Tristan Lennox. Lowe up to a 77, so he's getting there. He's not quite there, but he's getting there. Those are the top players that we have in the system to this point. The AHL, you have guys like Parker Baldwin, McCauley, who's been in the NHL on a couple of occasions. It's not great. Obviously, our organizational depth leaves a lot to be desired. But that is the team as it stands, which raises the question now of what this draft class is going to look like, because, yeah, that's obviously a big deciding factor into how this goes down. Now, as we talked about, and Miles Paul, the projected number 1, is not eligible. As we were talking about in the last episode, do we add Sarnia? Do we add the Sioux? Immediately, it paid off. You know, just threatening to add those leagues, or add those teams from those leagues, from that league, I should say, in the OHL. And we ended up getting rewarded, and we actually had players show up. We'll see if that happens again, is the point. Top player in the O, there are 3 players in the top 5 from the O. Top is Eugene Mapletop, who's not available. However, Mason Mestre, the Mestre, is available. Another top 5 option. This one from the Flint Firebirds. Thank God Angelo Leidecker is not available, although you could argue maybe it would be a good thing if he was, because we'd at least have 2 options. But it's another forward that we'll be targeting here in Mason Mestre. So not a bad option at all. Now, what about Suter? Ooh, okay, so Khalil Suter is also available. Now, while we need a defenseman, and I'm sure everyone will be scouted here, I can double check it later on, but while I'm sure, you know, we'll probably end up with Mestre, I mean, Khalil Suter could be worth it, because god damn it, don't we need defense? Not that we don't still need forwards. So that could raise an interesting question heading into this draft. Will it be Mestre or will it be Suter? Rest assured, it's going to be one of them. The rest of the way, Kyler Raymond from the Windsor Spitfires at the end of the first round. Don't think he'll fall to the second. I wish Cody Haskins and he were reversed. You got Ed Mayer from Niagara, Kingston, Oshawa. Oof. Second round's going to be pretty weak. Jackson Goran from the Windsor Spits, who's just on the fringe of being in the third round, is the top player available there, so we'll have to hope for something half decent. This draft might be falling a little bit. Corbin Bufflin from Saginaw. We are going to go without the Sioux and without Sarnia, because really, as you've seen, there aren't that many good players from either of those teams. I mean, McIntyre would be available, but that's not a huge win. I say that, and then a bunch of players from those teams started showing up. Jaden Foligno from Flint. We also have Hector Zhao from Saginaw. Solid stuff. Who else do we have here? Oh boy. From the Erie Otters, Quentin Schneider available to us as well. So it's not that bad. I mean, the middle to late rounds might be a little bit light, but there are two players who could be extremely, extremely helpful to the cause of turning this team around. So I don't hate the situation that we're in right now. I don't think it's going to be necessary to tank. I think we just play it out, see how this team can do. Of course, yeah, you see how we compare to the Florida Panthers preseason roster. That's our top lines, of course, that are out there for this preseason game. So we will sim ahead. We'll see what happens this season. And hopefully, again, the draft goes our way. So I was hopeful that this would be the first season where it was worth pausing mid-sim to say, hey, look at us. We might be able to make it. No, unfortunately not. Just 28 wins, of course, in an 82-game season. Dead last in the Atlantic. However, not dead last in the league. Carolina was worse, but from the looks of it, we do indeed have the second best draft lottery odds. So we'll see whether or not we get pushed out, depending on who's available. As again, quick look at what went down around the league for your viewing pleasure, if you care to look. But for us, mainly focused on what happened with our team and our players as it stands. So again, one of just 5 teams to finish under 70 points. Goals for, we actually outscored Carolina and Dallas, which is shocking. Goals against per game, though, it's still the defense and the goaltending. That's just abysmal, and that's not surprising given who we have on the team. But looking here at the points, great season for Brennan Othman. Cashman and Carlton were solid as well. Merritt did very well with 56 points. He had 41 for Justin Madsen, but he was a minus 45 as a rookie. Neal with 37 points. Shepard did quite well as well. Oh no, I mean, I'm fairly happy with the point production that you're seeing from a lot of people. I mean, obviously, like Cashman and Carlton, you'd want closer to 80. Merritt, I mean, really at 56 is great. Madsen and Shepard, I mean, it's that second line that just, they can't do it. There's some weak links on the wing there. Defensively, Drysdale, 53 points, not too bad. Bales with 25. Honestly, it's not too bad for our defense core, given what it is. And then for the goaltending, Lowe with an 894, Lennox with an 876. So Tristan struggling, but 20 wins for Howard Lowe on the season is honestly pretty impressive, and I'm pretty happy with how things have gone in terms of getting such a low overall goaltender into, a usable spot, which is where he is as it stands. As you could look, Jack Eichel leads the league in points. Top goal scorer was Kent Johnson on Florida. Defensively, point leader was Quinn Hughes. Thomas Chabot also up there. I presume Chabot's going to win it due to plus-minus. Goal-scoring king amongst defensemen. 32 goals from Ian Mitchell. Good Lord. Goaltending-wise, the winningest was Ilya Samsonov again. Washington's been so good in the regular season. Arkhipov in Vegas is likely to win the Vezina. And for the rookies, not bad from Madsen. Top 3 finish, but behind Colin Hughes and Adam Platt, the guy who was drafted a little bit ahead of him. Well, actually, right behind him, I should say. I was projected ahead of him, of course. I mean, what a pickup for the Islanders, of course. For to not get the #1 overall pick, but hey, we're not allowed to take him. Worked out pretty well for them. So with that, let's move on. I'm not going to look at the draft board just yet. We'll save that for the mid-playoff run. So Tampa plays Montreal, Ottawa plays Florida, Washington, Columbus, and New Jersey plays Philadelphia. In the West, it's Vegas, LA, Anaheim, San Jose, Chicago, Arizona, Colorado, and St. Louis. Let's see how this plays out. Who wins the Stanley Cup? Of course, how the awards go down as well. And what we can do when it comes to the draft. And again, the good thing is, even if we miss out, we end up with, say, the 5th overall pick, I think we'll be okay because Suter was available. As we take a look here, we know that Mason Mestre is a solid option. And Suter is still there at 8, medium top 4, but NHL ready, I'm sure. Actually, 2 years out. Wow. That B- in defense doesn't help him. Obviously, we're hoping for Mestre. We're hoping. I mean, Suter's not bad, but despite the fact we don't necessarily need another forward, Mestre's the guy that we need to continue to really solidify, I'd say, this forward core. As unsurprisingly, the Washington Capitals win the Stanley Cup. You saw Ilya Samsonov up there once again. And yeah, this team does it again. They beat Chicago in 5 in the Cup final. Calder Cup goes to the Texas Stars over the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. We'll take a look at Washington's roster really quickly. For the Halibut, Pastujov has been just a monster for them with Kuzi, Konechny, and of course Dylan Larkin's on that team. He's happy he left. I mean, you could tell, like, you know, the computers are starting to really take over here, or the generated players, I should say. Defensively, though, apparently they had a super young defense core, if those are the only guys showing up. And then Samsonov did very, very well. So with that, the awards for this season, Washington wins it. They've won 4 out of the last 5 President's Trophies, and they finally win a Stanley Cup in that time frame. Eichel wins the Art Ross. The Hart went to Andre Molnar. Thomas Chabot won the Norris. Ken Johnson, Lady Byng. Platt takes home the Calder. The Conn Smythe to Kuznetsov. The Vezina to Arkhipov. The Jennings to Blackwood. I think the leading goal scorer was Johnston, wasn't it? I mean, that would be at the end. What the hell am I talking about? I'm like, wait a minute. Thomas Harley to Masterton. Philly won to Jack Adams. Heischer wins to Selke. Ted Lindsay to Molnar. And there we go. The Rocket Richard to Johnson. I was just surprised, I think, that Molnar was the Hart winner, given the circumstances. Logan Hutsko scored the most points in the AHL, was league MVP. Jan Mizak, top goal scorer. Some dude, Gustav Forsling, was top defenseman. Some dude was top goaltender. And some dude was the MVP of the Calder Cup playoffs. So let's find out. Are we adding another top forward, or are we going to lose the lottery, end up picking 5th, and then having to go with the defenseman? Oh my God. We were 1 spot away. Thank God. Only Minnesota and Buffalo moved up. With that, we still have the 4th overall pick. And Mestre might not be ours. Maybe we should have tanked. He and Leidecker just switched spots. Oh, shit. We might not get him. We might not get him. Maybe I should have tanked. Oh, man, if we miss out on him by 1 spot, that's going to be devastating. Ooh, that's going to be rough. I feel like he was 4th, but maybe he was 3rd the whole season, but I swear he was 4th at one point. It's time to find out if the decision to forego on tanking was the right call. I felt like we needed to get some valuable experience for our best team possible. But was that the right call? Let's find out. Minnesota with the number 1 pick selects Paul. Back-to-back years with a franchise player. Buffalo at 2 takes Mapletop. Here we go. Carolina at 3. Shit. 76 medium elite Mason Mestre goes to the Carolina Hurricanes, who in a way out-tank us. Maybe we should have tanked. I thought we'd get him. I thought we had him secured. We didn't. The good thing is we at least have a player like Suter to fall back on. And honestly, it might be for the best. We were desperate for defense anyway. So Khalil Suter from the Erie Otters is the pick. 71 medium top 4. I think I know who I'd rather have, but still, we at least add a little bit of defense. Now we'll see who went off the board here towards the end of the round. Trying to see, remember, it was Redmond who was available, wasn't it? I feel like it was Redmond. I forget the other dude that was available. Let's see what we have here. Start of the 2nd round, so a bit of a tough blow there. Can argue the benefits to having not tanked, and I don't know if they were worth it. Jackson Goran, next up, 3-year ETA. Ooh, Bufflin's listed as a gem, but he's low top 6. He'll probably be the pick anyway. So the good thing is we're going to be able to add 2 defensemen, which we desperately needed defense anyway. Jackson Goran from the Windsor Spitfires is the pick. He is 63 medium top 6. Ugh. It's someone else, though, who has a fighting chance of making that defense score. I mean, the more half-decent options, the better. But obviously, like a medium top 4 there would have made this draft that much better. Next pick, no doubt, it's going to be Bufflin. I mean, based off of this, it's 64th. Yeah, it's going to be Corbin Bufflin. He's listed as a gem. The starting stats aren't that bad. It's just that low top 6. If that turns to a medium top 6, it'll be pretty good. It's a 64 overall. So, I mean, it's not that bad of a draft through the first 3 rounds as we expected, but the lack of a medium elite really does hurt at this stage of the game. And the lack of anybody half decent here also hurts. I think we're going to end up with both of these guys, Krog and Zhao. Yes, we are. These are the next 2 picks. We'll make sure we get Malachi Krog to add another defender, but a 5-year ETA. I'm expecting medium 7th at best. Low top 6. Oof, 54 overall. I said not that long ago, I felt like this draft here could be just a little bit light, and that looks like it's going to be the case. Hector Zhao is also up next from Saginaw, medium bottom 6. So it's not horrible. It's not horrible, but it's not amazing. All right, let's see here. At the end, I mean, there's Foligno, and then we'll see who we pick beyond the 200. So Jaden Foligno, another defenseman. It's just a draft of meh defensemen. We had a medium 7th to the mix. And in the 7th round, we are going to go for, I don't know who. Umberger's the highest rated. Let's see, Barrie, Peterborough, Barrie, Kitchener, Barrie, Owen Sound, Kitchener, Erie again. It's going to be Quentin Schneider, the 19-year-old overager, who is probably a grinder. He's a power forward, but a low bottom 6 one at that. So that does it already for this draft. One that's going to be highlighted by the fact that we lost the lottery. Had we tanked for the #1 odds, we may have been okay, but who's to say? I mean, no guarantees we would have out-tanked Carolina. So it's a little bit heartbreaking, I'd say, to have had that happen. But let's take a look now and see what this team looks like. So, I mean, Lennox and Lowe still showing up as 77s. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously we're going to keep the goaltending the same. We'll just go ahead and sign Lennox to what he wants, and we'll go ahead and sign Lowe to what he wants as well. I mean, whether or not Torres ever makes it, I'm uncertain. Defensively, Jamie Drysdale is going to need a new contract. Oh, boy. And he wants to get paid. I don't know at this rate if the salary is ever going to be a huge thing for us. I feel like we're going to have to really go for the payout. You know what, with Drysdale, just in case this team turns around, #1, I want to give him that 8th year. But with Drysdale, I'm going to go 10-2-5 for 8 years to see if we can secure Jamie Drysdale essentially for the rest of his career. Now, Bales is up to an 80, which is pretty promising. McGrath really has seemingly peaked at where he is, which sucks. I was really hoping as a low elite he'd be half decent, but low elites, I'd say, only work so well this year compared to prior years. And we're going to have some decisions to make on some other people here, I would say. Suter might be stepping straight into the NHL lineup. We'll sign Bianconi. We'll sign Gretz. Stock can stick around as well. I am going to sign Suter right out of the gates and probably get to play him at the NHL level. Steos has no value to us anymore. I mean, he's been around for a long time. But Nathan Steos really has capped out for us. Former 7th round pick in 2021. That's going to do it for him. And then there's Rylan Fallon, 5th round pick in 2021. I mean, monster on skates, but has capped out in terms of overall. So Fallon is also going to be cut. I'm going to go ahead and sign Goran for the hell of it. Why not? We'll see if I get in trouble for signing a bunch of people. Whether or not I do or not, I don't know. But let's just go ahead and sign everybody because screw it. Why not? For the wingers, Brennan Othman, same thing. Going to try to get him on an 8-year deal. Save a little bit of money just in case the team turns around. We're going to be looking at 9.25. I could technically go a little bit cheaper, but because I added a year, I want to pay him a little bit more. And we're pretty much good from there. German, good AHLer. No real reason to keep him because I'm not worried about the AHL team's success. He's only going to take away a spot from somebody who might, really benefit from it. So we're going to cut him. Cashman only wants a 3-year deal, which is slightly disappointing, if I'm being honest. That'd be about $7 million. I'm going to go 7.5. We'll save a little bit of salary here. Cardwell. Let's see, that's a tough call with Cardwell. Because, again, you're talking about someone else where it's like, okay, decent NHLer, I guess, but more or less an AHLer, former third-round pick in 2020. Has ridiculous slap shot power, but the rest of the shot never really developed. I'm not really interested in keeping people around who can't develop. I'd rather have the AHL team be, players who still have a shot. So Cardwell is going to be dropped, as is Barnes, 6th-round pick in 2024. Derek Barnes is also going to be dropped. We're going to hold on to Maldine for obvious reasons. And I think Crombeen as well. Keith Crombeen, 5th-round pick in 2022. I'm going to drop him as well. Again, if there's just no room to develop, then just get out of here. This was our cap whale for the past couple of seasons. Schneider. For the hell of it, I'm going to sign you and just see what the hell happens. But, yeah, like I said, if someone's in the AHL, they're clearly not going to make the NHL. Why let them take up an AHL spot? Hayden Fowler is going to stay. Max Galad is going to stay. 4th-line guys for us here. The same thing here. Cohen is on the way out. Elias Cohen, 6th-round pick in 2022. He's going to be on the way out, as is McAllister, 3rd-round pick in 2022. That 2022 draft clearly didn't go that well for us. He's on the outs, as is, I believe it's Emmett Pierce, 7th-round pick in 2020. Also gone. We'll go ahead and sign Bufflin to his ELC. I'm not worried about wasting years. Zhao, we'll sign him as well. And we'll see how these offers go for us. Let's see. Goran signs. Bufflin signs. Zhao. Bales rejects. Stock is back. Krog signs. Cashman rejects. Galad rejects. Fowler rejects. Drysdale rejects. As does Bianconi. Othman. Sheesh. Most people seemingly rejected. Maybe not most, but the big names certainly rejected. I mean, we got $72 million to spend. Let's just give them what they want. Cashman, Drysdale, Othman. Othman wants $10 million for 7 years. Sure. Let's do it. Let's give the boys what they want. We're not going to be in cap trouble anytime soon. It's unlikely we'll ever be in cap trouble. It's worth it to just go through it. I don't think the bottom options are going to re-sign here, though. Bales rejects. Cashman rejects. Okay, so they're lying about wanting to come back. It says they want an extension, but they don't. They want even more money. God damn it, game. God damn it. Let's give Cashman $9 million for this one season. Let's give Jamie Drysdale however much money. Let's give him 12 for the season. We'll just overpay these guys to stay for the year instead of giving them long-term deals. Pretty much the best way to do it. Wow. Cashman and Othman still rejected. That's insane. Bianconi. I mean, I'm pretty sure this will get you to stay. Just give you a one-way deal. Same with Max Galad. Don't really want to lose you. We'll also bring back Hayden Fowler. Just overpay. We got $60 million in cap. It makes no difference to me. Bales, let's sign you for about $2 million. And then for Othman and Cashman, guess what, boys? Guess what? You get the big bucks. Congratulations. You get the big bucks to stay for a year because there's no way you're going to reject this. Let's see if that goes through now. Bales is back. Cashman, Galad, Fowler still rejected. He's the last holdout. I have $21 million to spend. Congratulations to Hayden Fowler. Your perseverance to get paid has paid off. You're going to make about $18.5 million this year. And that way our roster is set. So with that, we'll stop the episode here because hiring and firing staff takes forever. But you get kind of at least a decent look at what this team is going to be next season. Difference being, I mean, obviously, not getting that medium elite really, really hurts. With that, again, I thank you very much for watching. You know the deal. Support the video, support the channel. Check out everything in the description. Look forward to seeing what you guys have to say about this one. And who knows, another rough draft at the end of next year. Maybe the whole Sarnia and Sue options are back on the table. But for now, we are out of here. I thank you again very much for watching. You know the deal. As always. And a shout out as well to my patrons over on Patreon. I love you all as well. Until then, have a good one. Take it easy. Stay safe. And hope for better draft luck.